Hello there, and I am back to color a Weirdie day. Today was a very long day because Victoria had a friend with her home, and I didn't get that many hours of sleep yesterday. But so I fell asleep a couple of hours after dinner, um, which was early. So I'm glad to see you, and Tina. I'm sorry I haven't been on earlier. uh, I fell asleep on the couch again. So I'm rested now. So yeah, because Victoria had her little friend home, and that went really well. Hi, Bev. Nice to see you. And today is a Mr. Chicken, and we'll have to find some new colors, I think. So these are going down. I think I just have to say that this and this were the ones that I was in doubt that was working. So I'm just going to put them over here to test again. And these ones are going on their place from yesterday. So I did get a lot of work done while the girls were here. And I did even manage to make an extra one with olives. The second entry this. Hi, Julie. Hi, Heather. Awesome to see you guys. I'm ready with Mr. Chicken, so we can see him here. I call him Mr. Chicken. And I saw Rose had made like a Mr. Bear on top of him, which was pretty cool. And I was a bit thinking that I might try my progressors today. You know, I haven't done colored pencils. So I was actually thinking that I might do that, you know, to do something new and see how it goes. I do hate these boxes that they're in because they're very hard to get out. So I'm going to put up the sequence of my colored pencils here, and I hope I'm going to put this one so that they don't roll down. So I have they're so lovely, these. I really love these. I should have found a sharpener. I do have one here, I think. And then, of course, one of my spotlights is attached to the one that I put my my sharpeners on. So I'll just put out a couple of sharpeners here and put up the light again. So now I have some sharpness out, and just gonna put up the colors here. Oops. They're so pretty. They're so awesome. So yeah, we're gonna be going. Yeah, dinner was. Hi, Rose. You're the one who made Mr. Bear on top. I thought that was brilliantly seen. Yeah, well, I made pizza for them because, you know, she had her friend visit, and so we asked what her favorite was, and she said her favorite was pizza. So I actually made a pizza myself in the oven, and the girl loved it. And you know, that was really nice because I'm used to when Victoria gets little friends over that they don't like the food that I make, and she liked it. So that was really nice. A new thing for me. She's a very sweet kid, very quiet, very creative in a way. So I'm going to take away the browns. We're going to be working with them today. Ooh, stuffed peppers. That sounds lovely too. First time I'm going to go pencils. Now I didn't even get anything to use when I'm just going to get the thing where I usually, if I need to sharpen them, I'm going to put these over here behind. I'm just going to see if I can find it quickly, or else I'll take something else. have here. I usually have this box where I use it for sharpening because I'm always thinking that I will use the sharpening things later. So I'm just gonna go right ahead. I'm just gonna start in here with the yellow. I really like how these pencils work because I like how strongly pigmented they are. They are from the Koh-i-Noor. Just Koh-i-Noor Woodless Progresso. Just gonna put that over here. Something so I can't make it so you can see it, but then I can take it out if somebody wants to see it. So yeah, they're great colored pencils, I think, and they blend really well also. So they're nice to use. I'm gonna have this one yellow too. But of course, these also actually will paint over your black lines because they're that strong in the pigment. You can also see them very strongly there. Oops, and it broke. You see? That's because I apply way too much pressure. So yeah, we're gonna have to work with him as a broken one. I just, you know, that's one of the things that can happen with these because they're so fragile. But they're still my favorite pencils. I'm just so sad it broke. So yeah, let's see. We got that one going. And then we'll just start here. He's a bit tricky. Mr. Chicken. He's a bit different. This is good. I like different. So that's going to carry down. And I think this is going to carry up from here. And this is going to carry down from here. And this is just going to be a starting point here. So there's very few points, I think, here that I'm going to actually start out with. I'm sad it broke. Oh, no! All lead, no wood, so really tender. And this one, it just broke right, boom, in my hand. Let's see if maybe I have some tape. I can never find the tape. You know, you guys know what it's like. I always buy tape, and I can never, ever find tape. And I think it's because somebody in this household tends to use a lot of tape for everything. And right now, it would be nice to find the tape. One second, I'm just going to look at the messy table with all the stuff. Might be a chance finding a scrap of tape so that I can just tape it together. There's not a lot of tape left on this one, but a little bit is better than nothing. I think might just, you know, hold it together so that I can hold on to the longer piece. So yeah, my debut on the pencils, I broke it for the first one. So let's see if I can just tape it together so that, you know, these might be good with some sort of pencil holders. So just gonna tape it together and hope that that will just at least, you know, help while I'm coloring. Just reinforce it a bit and just be very careful with it. My name is Bond, Clister Bond. You can call me Tape. Oh my God, that's a good one. I like that. So I'm gonna put a little bit more on it. And yes, I still have a cold and a fever. So I think that also sort of involves in my sleepiness. because I don't usually sleep on the couch that much. It's not like one of my things. So yeah, we got this going. So we got this, the first of these. So we are into colored pencils today. Well, actually, I was going to start up here as well. I'll have to be really careful with the other ones. But I do have tendency to apply a slightly too hard pressure. So it's not at first. Ah, a plastic straw. I'm just gonna go get some to test it. I have some. They're dead old colors in Victoria, but I do have some. I'm gonna try that, Bev. I just went to get some. Let's see if some of them fit. I have two different sizes, so maybe one of them will fit. These, I think, will be too thin. Yeah, that's too thin, but then the other one might just fit. Let's see here. And they're prettier. I can much better look at those. Let's see if I can. Does that one fit? That will fit. See? That will fit. I'll have to cut off a little piece. Just gonna get the scissors and cut off a little piece here. So, I just put the plastic straw on, as Beverly suggested. So then we'll see how that helps. Yeah, all the tape is in her room for sure. Hi Sandra, hi Ross. I just took you up on your advice and I found a straw and I put it on. So this is a slight darker yellow in the same set. That's really pretty also. I mean, I love these colors. There we go. This is really lovely. Like this. So that's probably gonna help me a lot. I'm just gonna take this yellow here. These are really good to blend together as well. Very useful. Very strongly pigmented. And yeah, I'm sorry that on my first go one of them snapped. But that's I'm too strong. And still, I don't have red wine today either. No red wine for me at the moment. Not, I think, you know, when I have this cold and the fever, then I don't really feel like having my red wine. It was different before because before it was just an asthma attack. It's not the same. I mean, it was horrible before. It was really bad. But this is a cold, so I'm having this sort of feverish. So yeah, that's a different way of feeling under the weather. So I'm not really feeling my red wine. My taste buds are not the same. So, and I did actually finally, I managed to make the second entry for the olive dish. I did make dessert. It was not as fancy as I had wanted it to be, but it was pretty crazy. No, the other day I started with yellow. Sometimes I do a different sequence, but I do tend to start a lot with yellow. But the other day I started with red, I think, you know, this time I started with yellow because this I see it as a beak. So I saw the beak as a starting point. So that's why. A dessert, yeah. I made like a toffee, black olive induced toffee with also vanilla and licorice powder. Then I removed the olives that had been in it, and those with a bit of the toffee, I blended up with the goat's cheese feta, like feta from goat's cheese, very soft, silky one, and Philadelphia cream cheese. So and then extra olives, lots more olives, black olives, to like a really smooth paste. And after that, I whipped up some double cream, and I mixed that with the smooth olive thing. And you know, the licorice powder is from licorice root, so it has a very strong taste of licorice, but mixed with the vanilla and the sugar from the toffee, it also has a very sweetness in it. So sort of like surprising taste, and I thought that the licorice powder would complement and elevate the taste of the black olives. The colors are really, really pretty in this set. So yeah, I really love them. And yeah, I think I'm gonna, it's not all of the straws. This one is a little bit fatter than the other one, I think. This one, the straw doesn't go on. Let's see if the straw is a bit bigger. No. Nope. This one, the straws don't like him. So no, the straws don't really go on this one. The orange one. The mousse was left to set in the refrigerator. And the toffee too. I cut out the toffee in little rounds. And then I served, like, you know, when I plated it, I made a slice of fresh apple, like fresh sweet apple. And then I put the little circle of toffee on top of the apple. And then I have sort of like a guide, a circle guide, that I use to get the mousse nicely on top, like a tower, on top of that circle of toffee that was a little bit smaller than the circle of apple. And then a thin wedge of apple up on top and some decoration. Because then you have that like fresh crunch, freshness and sweetness of the apple, and that interesting mousse. The mousse was really fantastic, really, really fantastic flavor, very interesting, very intriguing. And I think if you didn't tell people that it was based on black olives, the same with the toffee, then nobody would ever guess it. Nobody would think that it was made with the main ingredient being black olives. Really, I believe that. It tasted really, really good. So it was a good experiment, and it succeeded. So I made it as an experiment because I wasn't sure if it would, you know, what it would taste like, because it was in my mind. But when you haven't tried it, then you don't know how it's gonna end up. You see how strong these colors are? They're very strong. It covers also very nicely. So yeah, it was definitely a very successful dish. It was great flavor. But now, you know, since nobody can taste it unless they make it, it depends if they believe it, you know, because it's hard to imagine how that would taste. But it was very, very good. I wouldn't have entered it if it hadn't turned out good. Then I would have just, you know, stuck with my first entry only. But I thought that this was a great second entry with a very different dish that I really don't think that anybody else would imagine or come up with. And this is about being innovative. So that's definitely innovative. So it was sort of a sweet dessert, but based on black olives and goat's cheese also. So I mean, I could have used mascarpone, but I had the goat cheese feta in my fridge, and goat cheese and goat cheese feta and black olives go well together. But then I sort of, sweetened it up a little bit with the Philadelphia cream cheese and the whipped cream, so that it became a mousse and not just a cheesy cheese mix. That wouldn't work. It had to be like a really fluffy mousse from a dessert, so that it wouldn't be like mistaken for being a olive cheese dessert, even though it was an olive cheese dessert. But it has to be. It was really good. So now I just hope that I win some points on one of my entries. I'll probably win 1 point on each entry, but I'm always hoping to get a placement among the top 7 so that I can win extra points. And this is the first round of the league. So that's my first 2 entries, because last time we could only make 1 entry, and I suggested that I thought that we should be able to make more than 1. I was thinking max 3. So now he's upped it so that each contestant can make 2 entries. And I do think that is good and nice. So I don't think that I will probably not be able to make 2 entries each time, but if I can, I'll take the extra points. And I'll try my best, because sometimes I have more than one idea. And if you only can make 1 entry, then maybe, you just make the 1 idea. And if you can make 2 entries, then if you have the raw material anyways, I'll have to find something to blow my nose. I'm sorry, excuse me. I got some new ones for the nose because my nose got all red. So I got these with the Kleenex with the menthol balsam. And they really smell so good. They're very good. So that helps a little bit. So our first time on colored pencils. So sorry about that. But I was happy that this girl was home, because they did go to the nursing school together where they were really good friends. But then they lost, touch while they were in different kindergartens. And when they then started in the same school class, it was like they had totally lost out the fact that they were actually really good friends in the nursery school. And that her mom and me were like a little bit, they don't even know each other anymore, because it'd been a few years. And but now they had a really good play date today. I think they're very different from each other, but I do think that they had a lot of fun, and they can play well together, even though that they have very different interests. But they're both creative, so. And I think the nice thing about them is none of them are very dominant. So they're very, very nice to accept each other and, try to do what the other one wants as well. So it sort of becomes a very even playing exchange, because they're both nice to each other. So, you know, the one gets to decide something and then the other one gets to decide something that they play, so it becomes more even instead of the one all the time dictating what they should do, what I think happens in a lot of the play dates. This one, it fitted. So the orange one was just a little bit thicker. And you know, the funny thing is, I don't think I know why the orange one was a little bit thicker. Because that was the one that was broken in the set that I received. So that's the one where I got a new one. When they sent me a new one. Funny. And I think I'll do that one red too, because this one will continue. But they're really, really pretty colors. I mean, they're just pure pleasure to work with. They're pleasure to lay down. I guess, you know, you have to be careful with being too strong with them, or get the straw around them, or get something else to support them a bit. And do not drop the box on the floor. Do not let the cat drop the box on the floor. And I would actually suggest, if you're going to buy them, to buy two. They're not as expensive as other colored pencils. They have a fair price, consider the amount. You know, the quality, the amount of pencils in the box. I think the price is very, very good. The price point. I'm going to backtrack here because I think I should have that orange here. Sorry about that. I think it sort of fits here. Because then I can have that lovely red here, and I really love this red. But here it's also like fantastic if you mix them. I'm not gonna do that here. I think I was just thinking about maybe doing it there, but not ruin the whole sequence and stuff like that. And they're also very rich in the quality. Oh, that is nice. That is very nice. It's nice when they are generous like that. When you call them, you know, because then you get a good impression of their. It doesn't cost them a lot to do that, I think. But you know, it gives a really good level of service impression to a customer that they will do that, because then you're not worried the next time you buy their product. So I think that is a very, very good approach to take. And then you have doubles of most of them. So that is very good. Very great. I worked a very short while as a technical assistant, or, you know, when people had problem with the tech products. I worked for a big company that makes keyboards and loudspeakers, remote controls, and monitors, a lot of these things for computers, and just generally domestic electrical items, mainly in the digital. They also made alarm systems and music systems to be used at home. And their policy was also that if we can't fix it, like if there's no obvious error, we'll send the client a new one, even if they're supposed to be covered by the, you know, that it's the shop where they bought it that's supposed to replace it. But if they have problems and the shop won't replace it, and they don't have, for instance, the ticket from buying it or whatever, then we would still replace it and give them best service. And it's like my supervisor was saying, the percentage of complaints were so low, and the percentage of mistakes compared to sales worldwide was so low, so it would be better for the brand name to just do the exchange and get a happy customer than to, you know, get a few disgruntled people who might say bad things, because people, if they get an exchange, or and if we couldn't have this, if we still didn't have the same product, we'd just give them a whole new one, the newest one on the range. You know, if we couldn't just fix it right away. So, you know, that really helped. It was nice as a tech to be able to do that when you couldn't help people, when there was no obvious thing you could do to help their situation. It was really nice, because people do get happy, and they're used to very rude customer service in a lot of cases. Where I think, why have a customer service at all if you're not going to be nice to your customers? Because, I mean, that's building really bad relationship if you're going to have a rude customer service as a business. So, yeah, it was a nice place to work in the sense that you didn't have so angry customers, because you actually did something good for them. If things didn't pan out, or you couldn't help them as well as you would like to, then you could give them a new product. So that was pretty nice. I didn't mention names because I don't want to like say which company it was. You know, there's all these kind of disclosure agreements that you sign when you start working for a brand like that, and then all of a sudden you know, I don't want to mess up and say something wrong. I think, you know, they don't want generally that people know that they just exchange the product. Oh, no, I can't open this with one hand. Let me see. Can I do it? Yes, I can. So I usually will shove it into this little box, and there I can easily take off the outside little coating of plastic paint. So now then I just have them in a one big mix with different shavings. So that's how I do it, and then I'm imagining that someday we're gonna do some kind of crazy powder painting with all the colors. But I don't know exactly how these are gonna work, because these are more wax-based, whereas I have others that are for watercolors. So for the watercolor ones, I have like separate little plastic boxes to put the shavings in, so that I can have one for each color, because then those can be mixed with water afterwards and used as paint again. So, but I haven't tried those out yet, and since I don't have anything printed on watercolor friendly paper for this month, and we're not going to be trying out any of those this month, but I do promise that next month I will try to cover, and I will try to print out a few of the February ones on some paper that can take water, so that we can try some of the, for instance, the ink tans and some of the other pencils I have that are for water. I also have woodless that are made to be used with the water. Here I'm going like a little bit in over the orange, just where it was weak in the ends. I do think that these are very, very strong and vivid. As you can see, that they're almost as covering and vivid and looking as radiant as my markers and uniform, which is hard to achieve. I have to be careful here, because we're going to get a lot of, it's a different thing to work with. I do love these. These are really my favorite colored pencils. I'm happy to have them here. Then we'll have to see how my color sequence will work. We'll see. I don't know if I ordered them in the right order. Oh, have a nice dinner. Well, you know, don't be worried, Bev. That's great, Rose. Don't worry, Bev. It's normal because I have a very low what's called immune defense system because I have had asthma and I've had asthma all my life, but I haven't taken the medicine, the preventive medicine, for a lot of years because I can't afford it. And that's sort of, because I'm not taking that I'm more prone that any cold, any common cold will just stay with me when I get it. And that means that the whole, you know, winter season, autumn season, spring season, I sort of have, you know, ongoing colds, and didn't get better because I was very sick with the tuberculosis a few years back. That they discovered that I had it, and that I had probably had it for a lot of years, which means that it ate that 44, you know, it ate 44% of my lung capacity, which that cannot come back with the training, and that also lowers my resilience and makes things, you know, stay longer with me. So it's sort of a permanent condition that I always, you know, get it, and it will stick. So I'm used to it, especially at this time of year. I know it's just annoying that I just had that, you know, and then it will develop into not an asthma attack like it did, and I got the treatment, and it was just, I just got better because the treatment helped, and it was just like, yes. And then Victoria came home with a new cold, and it just settled in and did its thing. So don't worry about me. I'm quite used to it. Don't worry. I'm fine, and I will get over it. Thank you. But it's been like this for at least the last 10, 15 years, every winter, especially in Denmark. So, but it will get better, for sure. And this is our first, this is a deeper red, reddish. You can see these colors work so well. I'm happy that you care. It's really nice. I'm not used to having anybody really care about it. But I'm a resilient woman, so I will prevail, and I will get over it. And I've been taking it like, you know, I've been drinking hot drinks and taking care, you know. So it's not like I'm not doing anything. And I have been resting more. But naturally, I fall asleep when I have a dinner. We're still eating on the couch because Victoria still got a whole workstation, and I still haven't found that stupid iron. I have no clue where it is, and I'm getting like starting to be worried that my dad actually removed it, that he took it somewhere, and then it will be very difficult for me to find it because I haven't found it any of the places where it should have been. So I'm getting a little bit worried about where that stupid iron is, because I need to iron all those pearl plates that she made. So this one, I think, goes naturally up here, like a continuation of that flow. So yeah, I'm worried about that. to get the dining table back to normal. But I guess I'll probably have to tomorrow if Joseph is coming. Don't know what time he's coming. If he's coming for dinner, then we'll have to sit at the dining table, because there's no way that he can sit at the sofa and eat, because he's just too big. I mean, he can't sit there and eat. He's too large. He needs to sit at the real table and eat. Otherwise, there's no room for his body, his legs. He's a former basketball player, so he's very, very big. So it takes up a lot of space in the picture, and he can eat a lot of food, so I have to make a lot of potatoes and rice. So anyway, so if he's coming, I'll have to do something to get that table cleared out so that we can sit and eat at the dining table. Because if it's just me and Victoria, and today it was just me, Victoria, and her little friend, and my dad eats in his own room, he just gets a plate and he takes it to his own room, because, well, today he wasn't eating with us because it was pizza. He doesn't eat pizza. So, but then we can eat in the sofa. But lately, normally after we eat, we watch something on the telly, or work, sit and hang out, and we do something while. I draw, and Victoria makes a pearl, so she draws. And today I just needed to lie down. And she actually put on The Wizard of Oz, because when she was a baby, that was the movie that would totally calm her down. The Wizard of Oz. If I put that on, she would just be sitting there like, oh, with the big eyes. It was like when she was 1 year old. And I've told her, like, oh, you loved that movie, The Wizard of Oz. It was just like, she didn't want to see Teletubbies or any of the other baby ones, but she just wanted The Wizard of Oz. And I bought it later, and she never wanted to see it. She's like, ah. And then today she was like, okay, we can put that on and see it. And I said, yeah. And I saw like 5 minutes of it, and then I was gone. Then I was fast asleep. And she's so sweet, she put a blanket over me so that I wouldn't be cold. And then she came and woke me up. Said, Mom, you have to remember that you have to make the video. Yeah, but she's happy I was sleeping, because then she has then there's no one to tell her it's time to go to bed, because my dad won't say anything. He won't say to her, you need to go to bed now. No, he'll just let her stay up, and then she'll be quiet, so he won't even think about it. She's a sneaky little one. So I think it was around 10:30. She came and told me, oh, I'm going to go to bed now, Mom. So that's quite a lot later than 9 o'clock, where I tried to get her to bed. And then she was hoping to not go to school tomorrow. There's something, they have to wear short pants. And since it was snowing today, I don't think that short pants is something that I would want her to wear to school. And there's something with the wooden carrots or something I have to play that I think also sounds horrible. And that she didn't want to be a part of. And the other girl, her friend who was here, she didn't want to go to school tomorrow either because of that. She was like, no, I don't want to go to school. So I guess there's something about this game that maybe the school should rethink. And I'm pissed off with the after school. I'm really, really pissed off. I'm pissed off to the point where I don't think that she will go there for a while until they do something serious about the situation. So yeah, it got beyond me today. But yeah, so I think she's actually probably going to stay home tomorrow, and then we can. I think I get the children's money every 3 months we get like an extra children check. And I did promise her that thing with the experimentarium. And since I'm getting the check tomorrow, then it would probably be a good time to go and actually get that year card to there. It would probably be good tomorrow if we did that. So I think maybe we're going to just spend the day on that. The sprinkles do get everywhere. They're jumpy. They're jumping around. So I'm thinking that maybe we'll do that tomorrow and just take a day there. Yeah, but today, what happens, you know, I pick up the 2 girls from school. And I report in with the after school that I'm taking both of them home. And the pedagogue from the after school is standing there and she registers it on her iPad and says it's all okay. And I take the girls home. And that's at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And then at 2 minutes past 5, the after closes at 5. No, you're not so late. Hi, Patricia. 2 minutes past 5, you know, that's because now it's closing hour and they want to go home. My phone rings. And it's from the after school asking me if I have my daughter. And I say, yes, I have her. I picked her up from school and I got it registered that she was going home with me. Oh, but we don't have any note of that. And then I'm like, this is really worrying because they have to walk from the school to the after on their own. And I don't let her go to school on her own and I pick her up always. But they have to walk from the school to the after alone. Well, 2 and 2 or something like that. Eh? It's not a long walk now because they moved the school to some barracks. It's just like some containers they put together while they're fixing up the school. And if I didn't have her, if I hadn't had her, she would have been missing for over 3 hours when they realize that she's not there. For over 3 hours, and they first realize when they want to go home, when they're closing, they realize that she's not out of their electronic system because they can't leave before all kids are checked out. And I think that's fucking scary. And if it was the first time it happened, it would be okay. But ever since they opened this the biggest institution where she's been moved to for the after, it has happened, let's say, in 2017, since they moved there, it has happened at least 10 times. At least 10 times that they have called me. Not all the time that late, some maybe 4 or 5 times that late. And then a couple of times earlier on, But maybe, an hour. She would have been missing an hour or something before they even notice. So I was like, I told him, I think that this is very, very disconcerting. It's very worrying because if I didn't have her and she actually was missing as she is according to your system, then she would have been missing now for 3 hours. For 3 hours. That's crucial. Yeah, but I'm on the late duty, and when the first ones on duty don't pass on the messages, then we don't know. And I'm like, yeah, exactly, you don't know, but you are supposed to know because you're supposed to take care of my kid. I'm supposed to be able to rest assured that my kid is fucking safe, but she's not fucking safe, is she? So yeah, I'm having I'm really annoyed, and I know that Danish parents are very relaxed, and they say, oh, but nothing ever happens in Denmark, and we have a very peaceful country, and things don't happen. Yeah, well, bad things happen everywhere. And there's a first time for bad things everywhere. There's a reason why, for instance, all institutions are fucking locked up in Spain. And that's because bad shit happens. But here in Denmark, no. You wait until the bad shit happens a few times. And you wait until some kids get killed before you fucking change anything. And I'm pissed off for that because I've been trying to fight it ever since I came home. Because I don't feel safe when my daughter is in school. I don't feel that she's safe. I don't feel that she is in any way safe. Anybody can walk into the school area. Anyone can walk into the after area and grab her. And she can walk out. And it's been like that since the nursery school here. And you know, when then they are so relaxed about security that they don't even have a grasp of which kids are there, then I'm like, this is it. I'm not doing this bullshit anymore. If I can, I will pick her up, and if I can't, I'll have my dad pick her up, because I'm not taking this. It's just not good enough. It's oh, this one is a little bit thinner, so do vary a bit. So yeah, I was really not a happy camper. I have to admit that I was really angry, and I really don't feel like letting her go there, because I think that is it's just not acceptable. At this point, it's so unacceptable that I won't do it anymore. And it's also because of where we live. I mean, we're not living in the. I mean, we're living in a place that is full of Eastern European homeless immigrants and criminals on the street. These semi-drug users and that go to and from Christiania, that is right next to her school and after. So I mean, I'm thinking that it's pretty serious, you know. It's pretty serious that you can't trust them to know the whereabouts of your kid. That is, in my opinion, just totally unacceptable. And now it's just happened one time too many. And especially since I picked up both of them. And then I asked, so what about Emma? Is she on the list of the kids that are missing as well? Oh, no, she's accounted for. Okay, so the one of them, I picked up both of them. So the one is accounted for, but the other one is not. Yeah, but maybe it's a digital flaw in our system. That could be too. Well, you know, I mean, if you have that kind of serious digital flaws in your system, then I don't want my kid to be part of your freaking fucking system, do I? I'm appalled, really, because it was just a straw when they called today. I mean, of course, my daughter was safe, and I'm happy that she was safe, but imagine if she had been missing for fucking 3 hours. She could have been anywhere. It takes half an hour to go to Sweden from here. To go over the bridge. It's like, you know, she could have, boom. I'm so angry. So yeah, of course I just, you know, expressed my concern to the young guy who called, because that's another thing. They have all these young people working there who don't know left from right, because they hire the cheap help. So yeah, I'm sick of it, because I don't think that that's a worthy way of taking care of the future. And the kids in this country is our future, and they need to be protected and taken care of in the institutions that our society is requiring them to go to. We need, as parents, to be able to feel safe about where our children are during the day, and I don't. So I'm really sick of it, and I think I'm gonna start a fucking fire with it. You know, like not a real fire, but you know, I think I know that I won't get through, because the Danish parents are just like, it's the same thing I said, but about the institution not being locked, that the kids can just walk right out. They can just walk out onto the street, onto the foremost dangerous street in Copenhagen with the most deaths, traffic deaths. We can just walk on out on that because they don't believe in having locked doors in institutions in Denmark. They don't believe in locked doors as a public area. Public area, my fucking ass. An institution, a school, is not a public area. It's an area for the children. That is supposed to be safe for the children, to both keep them in and keep others out. So, and there has been incidences of boys who have walked out of the institution to go over and buy candy at the kiosk. And we're talking about 6-year-old kids walking out where there's no like red crossing or anything on that street where they are. So, you know, they're just walking straight out into traffic to cross the street to the kiosk. So it's not fucking safe, is it? And what they did when they heard about that incident, or those incidences, they of course don't know how many, because as Victoria said, it's not all of them that tell their parents afterwards that they were outside, is it? She doesn't go. I'm pretty sure that she would never go outside the area. But what they did was they painted a red line on the ground and told the kids, that's the line you cannot cross. If you paint a red line on my ground and you say you can't cross it, I'll cross it, because I'm just that kind of person. No. It's an institution, because it's a public institution, the schools, and this is not a prison. But I just don't know the equivalent word of an after to the English language. An after school, maybe. It's where, you know, the kids finish school at 2, but the parents finish work later, so they go there until the parents can pick them up, and it's more free play than at school there. I mean, I wish it was more like a fucking prison, so nobody could go in and nobody could go out, and the kids would be safe on that area, you know. But yeah, I would like it to be a safe place for the kids. Not a place where a parent has to worry if the kid leaves the place or if somebody walks in and grabs the kid. But I feel that it's unsafe. And in other countries, you would feel that that system is unsafe. But in Denmark, oh, if I mention anything about it, the other parents get really upset. No, we're not like that here in Denmark. We don't lock our children in and we don't do this. And, well, you know, if it's to keep them safe, you know, I mean, I'd rather have locked doors and make sure that no strangers can get in, or otherwise they need more hands so that they can really watch the children outside. Because the children go outside and play on the playgrounds alone, well, you know, then they will have one grown-up supervising the yard, but they can't possibly see everything because it's a big place and there's corners and, you know, the kids are all over the place and one person can't watch it because there's lots of different yards where they can play. So yeah, in that respect, I was upset about that. Yeah, children care after school. Fritten. The frit. Der frit. I don't know how to say that. Yeah, but you know, she likes to go there sometimes because it's nice socially. There's some creative activities, there's different activities and stuff they can do. But they're pretty much left to choose themselves where they want to be in the institution, in which room, in which section. I mean, there was one day I went to pick her up and it took me like at least 30 minutes to find her. Because nobody knew where she was. which I also find kind of disconcerting. But it's because there's just so many rooms where they can go and play, and so many different adults who obviously do not see anything. And yeah, I don't like it. I think the pride and joy of them making the big one, I think that's a fucking failure. And I thought it was a failure from the beginning. I was in the parents' council when they first came out with this, and that it is on the grounds where she was in a nursery home. So I've actually been following it since the beginning, since before it was built. I always thought it was wrong to make a place that big with that many kids and that few hands to take care of them. So yeah, I'm not happy camper about that. I think it's worrisome. It worries me that they don't have it better. You can see this takes me longer because I do have to apply more pressure. I do think that these, compared to with a lot of colored pencils, do have a lot of pigment, very strong pigment, and lay down really well. They're very, very soft in that way. But that's one of the things that I don't like, all the pressure I have to apply. I think it is very scary. It can happen really fast. I mean, it's just a van driving up next to two little girls walking hand in hand from school, and there jumps out a guy and he pops the two girls in the van, and that's it. Van is gone. And if the institution doesn't realize immediately that the kids haven't come from the 5-10 minute walk from school, if they don't realize that before until after 3 hours, then they can be really far gone. So I think it's very worrying, and I don't think that it feels safe at all. I know that we don't have a history of that happening here in Denmark. We've had some, like parent abductions where it's like divorcees that take the parents or take the kids or something like that. But we did have last year in Jutland that there was somebody who lifted a kid out of a kindergarten and sexually molested it. A little girl. He took her home, and then he drove her back actually to close to the kindergarten where he had taken her, so he did get her back. But I hate when those kind of stories hit the news, because then there's other fucking psycho perverts sitting out there getting great ideas how easy it is to grab kid. Yes, that's why I love them, because they have such a nice coverage. They can really cover well. They also blend beautifully into each other, especially though that the yellow, orange, red combination. They just blend really, really awesome. I mean, they're really nice and easy to work with. I'm trying to show you on a piece of paper if I can find one. I should have like a thermal with tea or Ribena. Yeah, so that's just kind of it. There's going to be, I told him that I thought he should take it up with the leader. I actually know that I worked in that kindergarten, not the big one, before it became all of them in one, when it was a smaller institution. And then it was cozy, and there was no problem with security there when I was working there for 4 months. So to know the leader, I don't really necessarily like him. So it's not the person that I feel like getting up right up and talking to, and I know that his attitude about closed doors would be exactly like everybody else's here, which I just find it appalling that people are so lax on security. But I think it's also because, if you haven't lived in another country, I mean, I lived in Spain, where everything was really secured down when it came to any children institution. It was It was total lockdown, and I was surprised when I realized that. I was like, whoa, you lock in the kids. And now that I got back, I'm like, I'm starting to understand it, because I did not feel unsafe in Spain around, I wouldn't have felt unsafe with having her in school or anywhere, because I know that the doors are locked. Nobody gets out, nobody gets in unless they know about it. And even like this, she went to one nursery home in Spain, and they required that they had current photographs of whoever could pick her up, but max 3 people. Max 3 different people could pick her up. And they required photographs, and they would have those photographs hanging by their door. So when you came and rang the doorbell, they would look at the photograph if you were one of those people who could pick up the kid. So, I mean, that's security. And I mean, that was like even maybe a slight excess of security, but I would rather have an excess of security than a lack of security, to be honest, then I'd rather have an excess. Rather too much security than none. This is also a lovely color. I mean, the colors in this set is there. They have 24 colors, but they're all beautiful. Exactly. They are really awesome pencils, and they do have beautiful results, and that's why they are my favorite colored pencils. Even though that I have some other ones, really also beautiful, expensive ones, and I haven't tried out all of the ones that I have. I will try them out with you guys. Now I've started. I've done my first with the colored pencils, then it's easier to do the next. Because, yeah, as you all know, I'm a marker girl. So my immediate comfort zone is the markers. And I think I'm actually going to continue this down here so that we get a natural flow of the change of color. But they have good pigment, they're good quality, and yeah, they lay down beautifully. So definitely, they are worth it, and they're not overpriced compared to quality. Yes, I think the price. I don't remember exactly how much I paid for these. I got them on Amazon Germany, but I was surprised at how cheap it was. Compared to so many others, and then the pure quality of them, the feel of them. I like the way they feel in the hand with the woodless. I like that they're a little bit heavier. I like that feeling, and I just like the way they lay down smoothly and very very highly pigmented, and you don't get all those white little areas. I mean, they really cover well, and then you can get them to cover even better, and you can layer them, and you have the good pencils. Yeah, I saw that. 13 kids locked in a house, malnourished, and even some of them were grown-ups. There are these Koh-i-Noor. I'll try to hold it still. Koh-i-Noor Woodless Progresso. This company, Koh-i-Noor, has been making pencils since 1790. They're from Czech Republic. It's a very, very good brand, a very, very high quality brand. And they are absolutely gorgeous. Probably. Yeah, you can get them on Amazon, and they are absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous colored pencils. So I can write here. I can write it in the comments. It's easier. Let's see here. I'll just no. I can see if I can find them on. I'll just find a link. Koh-i-Noor. Okay, that was not what I was looking for. No. The wood. This colored pencils. Okay, this is the set that I have. Yeah. It's $16 for the 24 set. Let's see. I'm just gonna. I don't have this. On the other one, I can do links where I get a. But I can't on this one. I don't have it connected. But here, this is the link